Okay, so I was watching Jenny and Georgia, right? And I was really looking at Georgia. And the question came to me, why do we as a society stand toxic women that would inevitably ruin our lives if given the chance? You know what I'm talking about. The charmers, manipulators, the unapologetic killers.
You want? I have money, please.
I want you to stand still.
Sorry. No.
Villanelle, Love Quinn, Georgia from Jenny and Georgia, Catherine Pierce from Vampire Diaries. Why do we love these women? And I like these specific women in particular because honestly, watching these shows, I was quite literally obsessed.
Are you wearing it?
And I feel like if you're watching this, maybe so were a lot of you. Well, the main answer is simple: fantasy, delulu, and maybe just a little bit of our own darkness is speaking through. Well, I think we have to talk about the obvious reason first. Power is sexy.
No!
There is no scapegoating it. We naturally gravitate towards people, men and women, that exude power. They command a room. We are attracted to people who lead with confidence, authority, and usually a little bit of danger for that extra oomph. Take characters with huge overbearing personalities like Klaus Michelson from Vampire Diaries, Loki from Marvel Universe, and Negan from The Walking Dead. These are characters who do some downright diabolical acts. They do whatever they want at any cost, even if it's killing someone who stands in their way. They are powerful for a reason. But despite all of their wrongdoings, what do we see the fans doing most of the time?
The way he smiles after he... Yeah,
I'm lowkey. You made that.
that's for New York.
Gosh.
Are you cooperating?
Sir! Oh, wait, Ricky. I wasn't gonna cooperate, but now.
Because we all know they aren't universally hated characters, despite the fact that on paper and in real life, these men would be feared and ridiculed for their crimes. But outside of the realms of reality, of course, they're desired and they're celebrated. So it makes sense why watching a woman do whatever she wants and not just get away with it, but thrive regardless. Because in real life, so many of us women are told to stay small, soften our edges, to apologize for taking up space. We're conditioned to believe that pushing boundaries, speaking up for ourselves too loudly, and stepping into powerful roles comes with a cost. Take these characters, for example. Villanelle, she kills with style and doesn't apologize for her chaos, using charm and violence interchangeably. Watching her is like watching power made visible. Love Quinn hides her ruthlessness behind sweetness, but make no mistake, she is in control. She manipulates situations and people in order to protect those who she holds dear. We see this trope showcasing these women being in control of a situation. And sometimes, yes, people get hurt. Let's just acknowledge this now. Let's acknowledge the elephant in the room. It is very bad to kill people. We are not saying it isn't. We're not trying to glorify what these women do when we acknowledge their power. These women use charm, sexuality, silence, violence as tools to maintain their power, which isn't all that different from when a man does it. But for some reason, when a woman does it, it's more impactful. Why? I think it's because they are expressing what we are taught to suppress. Now, I'm obviously not saying that we should all just go run willy-nilly, talk however we want, do whatever we want, and most concerningly, hurt whoever we want. No, I'm alluding to how women for centuries have been taught to suppress their anger. Historically, a woman's worth was tied to her ability to nurture, obey, and maintain peace, even at the expense of her own truth. Rage, ambition, and unapologetic desire, those were labeled masculine and dangerous. And the danger wasn't just social, it was physical. Step out of line and you could lose your reputation, your livelihood, and in some cases, even your life. So when we see fictional women weaponize their pain and step into these powerful roles, it's electrifying. Take the hit show You, for example. One of the clearest examples of this double standard placed on toxic female characters is Love Quinn. From You, Joe, the male lead, engages in stalking, manipulation, and even murder. But his actions are framed through the lens of romantic obsession. What the fuck is even that? What the fuck is even that? Or tragic heroism. Now, I know that may not be the show's intention, but that is how the show was presented. But when love does the exact same things, stalking, lying, killing, the narrative flips. Suddenly, she's the evil woman, the unstable. Her violence isn't romanticized, it is a threat. She's not a complex anti hero, she's a villain to be feared and condemned. This split reaction highlights a larger cultural discomfort. We're more willing to forgive or even celebrate men's darkness as part of their complexity, but a woman's darkness is often pathologized and demonized. The women are expected to be emotional caretakers, the nurturers. And when they claim their power through violence and the manipulation, it challenges these deeply ingrained gender norms. As you can see, I had an outfit change. But you know what? It kind of works with the theme of today. Women supporting women. We support women's rights and also women's wrongs. Now, where was I? Ah, yes, gender norms. It's not just about morality, right? It's about control. When women cross these lines in these fictional TV shows, it threatens the social order because it breaks that safe, calm, and good girl narrative that is placed on women. Love Story exposes this double standard. It makes us question why male violence is often justified as a means to an end, while female violence is often
Unacceptable condition! Unacceptable!
When we contrast this idea with the identical male counterpart, there is a clear difference. We're used to seeing men as complex, morally gray villains or anti-heroes. Think of protagonists like Walter White, Dexter, Tommy Shelby. With these characters, the audience just accepts it without question. But when a woman enters these shared spaces, it's not just a character, it's often a cultural disruption. These women refuse to be the nice girl, the caregiver, an emotional safe space. They're dangerous, uncontainable. And while they've done inexcusable things I am in no way excusing by any means, in a culture that expects women to be soft and agreeable, they flip the script entirely. Watching them take, fight, and challenge these stereotypes without guilt or shame is like watching a woman in real time fully own her power. Even if the morality meter is a little bit tilted and let's just say blinking red, these women expand what a female character's core dynamics can be. They're no longer just the love interest, the wife, the mothers, roles that have for decades limited female characters. And that's not to say that these roles are bad or they don't allow a woman to shine. But there's something that needs to be said about what seeing a woman in these never taking no for an answer roles can do for a woman's psyche. Like, what does that tell us at the end of the day when we see someone like Catherine Pierce from the Vampire Diaries? She is gleefully manipulative, chaotic, and unapologetically self-serving. There's no question here. No question about that. But unlike the redeemed Catherine, Catherine owns her darkness and uses it as power. She's not in the story to be fixed or softened for a love interest. And she's not going to be sidelined. Villanelle from Killing Eve. She is a queer, stylish assassin who plays with identity, charm, and chaos. She blurs lines between villain and anti-hero in a way that rarely is seen before. Her confidence and queerness challenge traditional norms about femininity and sexuality. Then we have Love Quinn. She reflects the messy, sometimes contradictory nature of real people. You can't put her in a box.
So I can read more about your narcissistic climb to success when, poof, you suddenly discovered you were deserving? Sounds like a bunch of privilege bullshit to me.
Just like you can't put everyday women in a box. You can't expect them to be all one thing and all this thing. I see it happen a lot, especially in dating, but that's a whole nother video. We could get into that. Then we have Georgia from Jenny and Georgia. She navigates motherhood, ambition, and survival in ways that break conventional molds. She's also messy, flawed, and often morally gray, a far cry from the idealized mother or woman in society. So what all these characters share is a refusal to be fit into any type of archetypes. They are all messy, they are all powerful, and they are all dangerous. But what they all are inherently is deeply human. And that's how you write a good character. This shift in female archetypes matters extensively because it gives room for more authentic, complex portrayals of women, portrayals that don't rely heavily on stereotypes or moral simplicity. These characters reflect a cultural change, an acknowledgement that women can embody contradictions and that female power doesn't have to look like sacrifice. It can be raw, wild, and unrestrained. These women don't just entertain us with their chaos, they also mirror parts of ourselves we're taught to hide. Ugh, I gotta get comfortable. I gotta get comfortable. Carl Jung called this our shadow self. There is an idea of the shadow self. It is the primal instinctive side that society tells us to bury deep down. It's where rage, jealousy, ambition, and raw desire live. These characters give that shadow a face, a voice, and a wild freedom. Take Villanelle from Killing Eve, for example. Remember that scene where she is nonchalantly eating ice cream right after killing someone? I know. Graphic, I know. But that fearless mixing of violence and playfulness shows how she owns her impulses without shame. She embodies that side of us that wants to break all the rules and just be ourselves. Now, of course, not kill, but there is an element of some truth there. Just a little bit. If you don't see it with Villanelle, understandable. She did kill a lot of people.
Boring!
But then there's Georgia. We see her survival instinct kick in. That fierce protection for her family at any cost. It tops everything. It even overshadows her motherhood. It's a mix of rage, love, and fear. Something so many of us can relate to but rarely admit. Catherine Pierce in The Vampire Diaries is the queen of survival and manipulation. She has this drive to survive, and it comes at a cost of everyone but herself. Turning pain and betrayal into power, she shows how sometimes the shadow uses cunning and control to protect the fragile core. Then we have Love Gwen from You. Her moments of tender vulnerability mixed with cold calculation, like when she's calmly planning a murder to protect Joe, which didn't deserve it, by the way, but whatever. It reflects the duality in us all, the longing to be loved and safe, but also the dark lengths will go to protect that love. Love's Shadow is about the dangerous intersections of softness and brutality. Watching these women live out these extremes gives us the permission to acknowledge the parts of ourselves that society pushes underground. Rage, rebellion, ambition. And sometimes it's easier to see these characters go through great lengths. And again, we're not condoning the killing. So why do we really celebrate them? Because we wouldn't want to meet any of them in real life. They're terrifying, unpredictable, and in every case, dangerous. But secretly, we can't look away. We love watching them because they make the unthinkable look thrilling. They push the boundaries of what's acceptable behavior, breaking rules, challenging norms, and flipping moral expectations on their head. Watching them is like getting a taste of freedom and a glimpse into the world where you can say no, you can fight back, and you can take what you want without apologies. In a culture that tells women to be nice, quiet, and accommodating, these characters are rebellious. They're complicated. It's what draws us in, and it's what makes them relatable to an extent. They're not just villains, but deeply flawed individuals. Their pain, their contradictions, they invite us to explore our own darknesses through watching them. They invite us to live through them, through their stories. And of course, at the end of the day, you hope they grow and they are not going to do the terrible thing that they do. So maybe we're not obsessed with the violence, but maybe we're obsessed with what these women represent. The freedom to be everything that you've been told that you're not. So let me know down in the comments, who is your favorite toxic female character? Pick any fictional woman that you think fits this narrative. It doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter what genre. Let me know below. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you. Mwah.